Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Today we have a very special video because Messi has won the League One Player of the Month, guys. This has been news pretty much all around the FIFA community in the last probably 24 hours. And yeah, it's big news because when somebody wins a Player of the Month in the top 5 league, they get a special card. So Messi is going to be getting a Player of the Month special card, and I actually believe that it is going to be out on Thursday or Friday. If I were to take a guess, it's probably going to be out on Thursday. We see a lot of the time the Player of the Month coming out on Thursday over the years. Last year, with the League One Player of the Month, we had many memorable cards. And yeah, this is a time of the year where we do see a lot of these Player of the Months come out, and they're very usable for a long time. Last year, we got League One Player of the Month. We got Paqueta early on, his Player of the Month, and then his Moments card, rather. But even his Player of the Month card was very popular. And then we also had Fofana last year early on, who, with Paqueta's Player of the Month, was also a very solid card when he came out. And this one actually came out just around this time earlier on in the year. So Fofana was released at 283K, which is expensive. And I'm making this video today because, well, Messi's getting a Player of the Month, and I think there's a lot to talk about. And there's a lot of ways to prepare and just a lot of things to kind of go over. So if you enjoy the video today, drop a thumbs up. In the comments down below, let me know general interest of what you guys think you'd be interested in doing Messi for. We're going to talk about a couple of things regarding the SBC and things I'm really expecting. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching all the YouTube videos. So yeah, Messi, as you guys saw from this graphic, he's going to get a Player of the Month. Now, the rumor right now is that he's actually going to get a cam card, which is really interesting because right now on FIFA Ultimate Team, Messi's default gold card is a right wing / I think it's right mid. But those are his only two available positions. And I always found it a bit weird that you can't use Messi centrally, right? Because Messi has really always been a player that goes in the middle as well and also plays out wide. So I've always had like kind of a annoying issue that you can only use Messi, you know, in one of these positions this year. So yeah, so Messi's gold card this year right now, 260K on the market. He's not down a lot. There's not a lot of panic on Messi's card. Messi also is probably having his like worst year on FIFA in a couple of years. Not a lot of people use him. He's not as good. He's quite slow this year, and with the whole lengthy meta and all this going on, you'd rather use a player like Sorloth. So I do get it. He's got phenomenal dribbling. He's on the low work rates this year. He's got outside foot. I actually think he would be an incredible either, you know, cam in a 4-1-2-2 or a amazing left center mid in a 4-3-2-1 or something like that, where you could kind of do the long trivela shots, because he's got long shot taker trait, outside foot, crazy good long shots. And with the way long shots are this year, I think he'd be really effective there as kind of like more of an attacking center mid. So Messi's gold card is 260K on the market. He's been this price for a while. And then you've also got on his special card, which is a live card. This card can get a max of a 94 rated, guys. So this card can be a 94 rated at the highest. He got +1s pretty much in every category. And so, you know, there's a little bit of a live tax filtered into this, although the upgrades are going to be a while. Now, we don't know the leak of any of the stats. That's not really fully published everywhere yet. And as you can see, right wing and right mid. But what we do know based on earlier experiences with this FIFA and just kind of, yeah, things that have happened so far, when it comes to Player of the Month so far, you know, I've completed this Player of the Month Valverde. And, you know, this card was released the week that Valverde had an inform, and Valverde's inform is a, it's a right wing and right mid inform. So there's really like one direct comparison I can give you guys. His card on the market at the time of the Player of the Month release was around that like 150K mark. Just around there, 160. So EA released the SBC. I did it. And as you guys can see, we will shift back over to flipping just so you guys can kind of get a gauge for the price. So EA said, we're going to release it. He was about 220K, and he was released on Sunday, October 2nd. And, you know, at that date or time rather, his inform was like 120K, obviously was down a bit. People then bought it back because obviously the Player of the Month was more expensive. So it was at a premium, but you were also getting the center mid position change. So we already can kind of learn based on that exact same stats. EA felt like, hey, we got to charge people more money for the center mid position and more money for the fact that they can use untradables and get him a little bit cheaper. So look, I'm never a huge person that's getting annoyed at EA releasing like slightly overpriced SBCs, because I always feel like you can always work towards it, especially with Player of the Month. Usually these are available for 30 days, which is a long time. That's 4 sets of Rivals rewards, 4 sets of Champs rewards, and who knows what objectives and SBCs, you know, are going to come out that you're going to be able to grind and get these done. So I never have a real issue. For me, I did Valverde. He's been very worth it for me. He's still about 230. He was a guy that I did and I thought was worth it. So when it comes to Messi's price, you know, what I'm really expecting, we don't have any panic on the market for Messi's live card. So right away, what that tells me is that I feel like the market, even with this leak out, feels like two things, right? I think a lot of these guys are thinking that the card is going to be released cheaper than the price of the market for sure. There's no panic with this card. And I would also agree with that. I think Messi's Player of the Month SBC should not be more than his card on the market. It's a different scenario. It's a way different scenario than that Inform Valverde. And I say that because Inform Valverde doesn't hold any live value. This card can still be a 94. Which is a big deal. Now, yes, it will take a little while to get to a 94, but the upgrade potential, I believe, is still here. I'm not 100% because I know that PSG, I think they drew Benfica, so it might be messed up, so it might only be a 93, but regardless, Messi can definitely get 1, if not 2 upgrades. I might be a little bit behind with that, so apologies there, but that's besides the point. I don't see EA doing the Valverde trend where they're going to make this Player of the Month 1.4 mil. I just don't see that. Also, I don't see that because this week we got a base icon SBC, and that even wasn't even that crazy. Even, you know, this is something that you'd expect EA to go really overkill with and like make everybody pay the tax to get an icon pack, and it was really fair value at 132K. So I don't think EA are in that mode right now of coming out and trying to scam everybody. What I think is likely, you know, with this card coming out, EA could upcharge the premium. Look, I think an Inform Messi on the market, probably based on the price of his gold right now, you'd probably be looking at a 92 rated card, probably about 800, 900, 700K. I think that sounds about fair. So I do think EA is not going to release this card less than 700K. I would be really surprised if this was less than 700K, and I say that because of this. If EA is going to release a card that is, you know, around that price, you're going to have multiple SBC squads, you know, like we talk about Alaba that was just released. I obviously can't go into the SBC, but to give you an example, right? So baby Essien on the market was like 500,000 coins, about I think like 450, 400 in that kind of range, right? And then his SBC release, you know, was 425. Now it's about half vote, but the reason why, you know, there's a little bit of a price difference between, you know, you could say 425 to do the SBC and 530 on the market. That's actually phenomenal value. You know, if we enter a scenario where EA's like, okay, they are going to release it at 700K, I think it's great value because when you take a look at Essien, number one, you've got 30 days to craft it. You're going to have tradable packs in here, tradable 35, tradable 25. So at 425, with him being 450 to 500 consistently on the market, with these tradable packs, you will probably make at minimum back from these 40 to 50,000 coins, which is going to put you under 400K. So it's making it worthwhile to go untradeable with Essien if you're interested. And so I guess my point is that I'm not seeing EA releasing SBCs the last couple of days, or maybe you could say weeks, outside of that hero pack scam that have been like real scams. Even the Team of the Week pack that was released this week, yes, you could argue was bad value, but for EA standards, 15K for, you know, 10 Team of the Weeks untradeable, and when those are going to be 30 to 40K at some point because of party bags in a few months, it's good value. It really is. So they don't look like they're in the business of bad value at the moment. It is EA Sports, so anything is possible, but I just don't see Messi's SBC tomorrow coming out and being more than 800K. And the positive of what I'm really alluding to here is that with a card that's going to be 800K, right? Essien is only 400K right now, 425 to be exact. He's got 7 squads, right? Now, 2 of them are bronze squads, bronze and silver. But then you've got an 84, an 85, an 86, an 85, and an 87. So the positive here is that your packs that you're going to be getting back are probably going to be pretty decent. And EA have not really been doing untradeable packs in the icon squads yet. So that's a good sign as well. Even though they're not an 100K pack or a 50K pack or anything crazy, you've got a mega pack and it is tradable. So tradable packs in return is good because you're going to help bring the coins back in. So, you know, you also got to look at it, the fact that I don't know, the only way that I can see that Messi's live card on the market is going to like really drop is in the scenario that EA probably released Messi's SBC tomorrow at like 600K. If that actually happens, a lot of people are going to not care about this card and just want to go get an untradeable Messi. Not to mention, most people could probably save at minimum 50K using fodder. 50 to 100K the average person. That puts Messi to 500. Before any of the packs back, you know, that's 500. Then you're going to open the packs back, you're probably down to 450. So everybody would take an informed Messi or an upgraded Messi for 450. So that's, you know, there's potential there. Now, also something to mention just regarding Messi, and we'll talk about a couple other things here. Two things really to mention, actually. So today we got an informed Neymar, right? And I want to point this out because Neymar's gold card, when you take a look at his card on the market, which we will pull up Neymar right now, he has the ability to play left wing and left mid. So those are his two positions. Now, his inform is out of this world, right? And what I'm pointing out is that you have the ability to play him as a cam. It's a position change and a left mid, but not left wing. So EA actually gave him one of his previous positions, which is, you know, I think potentially likely to happen. Now, the one thing you could be worried about with that is that, again, Valverde that I have, they did not provide that. My Valverde can only play center mid, I believe. I think it's the only position he can play, whereas the inform had the right wing and the right mid. So this is the only position that Valverde can play, but I believe the goal is the same. So it's whatever the goal is. So what I'm really getting to here, which is a complicated rant or tangent that I'm going on, but I think there's a really likely chance that if EA dropped this Messi as a you know, as a cam tomorrow, which is the leak right now, I think there's a very likely chance that they do include right mid or right wing. You know, and in that case, that would make it an incredible SBC because it gives you another option of a position to put Messi in your team. And who doesn't want a player of the month Messi? Even if it's cheap, at the end of the day, Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Mbappe, maybe it's Haaland for you. I don't even know who it is for you in real life, but there's certain players that are just always going to be goats on FIFA, and they're really nice to have in your club. No matter how good of a player you are or how bad of a player you are, it's great to play with players like Messi. So getting an untradeable Messi could be really fun, and you have the journey of the whole entire year to log games, log stats, and you know, get them in your team. And yeah, I think it's really nice to have these types of players in your team for the majority of the year. We actually had a Messi player that we've had a Messi player of the month over the years. We had a 96 player of the month Messi in FIFA 21. It was 1.7 mil. But what you guys got to understand about, you know, this card, he was released in March, right? And he was like a 96. It was like a +3. And this is also when Messi's gold card in this FIFA was like high, you know, 700s. Right now, his gold card is only 270K, so he's not expensive. So EA should theoretically value it based on the market. And even his team of the group stage around this time was 1.8. Right now, second or third week of FIFA, we've got Messi special card on the market that's live is only 1 million coins. The market is a lot different this year. It's a lot cheaper. So always going back in the past and comparing isn't always the best thing to do. We also had 2 player of the month Messi's in FIFA 20 for the La Liga player of the month. He had 2. And I actually directly remember that the 96 went up a ton, I believe, when one of these was released. I can't remember which one, but one of the SBCs was released. And I remember that the special card went up a lot. So you could see a scenario as well where if tomorrow Messi's released and he has the same exact stats as this card and he is 1.3 mil, you might actually see this card going up to like 1.4. That could happen. For no good reason, but it could happen. I'm just warning you. So this brings me to my next point. What do we think it's going to require? Well, we don't know for sure. I don't know leaks. I don't think anyone has access to those leaks. From what I can tell based on a couple of these icon SBCs, you can always gather some information for players, you know, that are at least a little bit close to the price of the SBC. I wouldn't say Essien is a great look, but what you've got in here is a couple of team of the week or foot champs, and I think EA will probably do that a couple times tomorrow. They've just released the foot champs upgrade. They released a bunch of team of the week packs. So whenever I see EA releasing something like 10 team of the week packs, like they did 2 days ago, and that'll be available, I think, even if you didn't do them by the time this releases tomorrow or Friday, usually they will actually require that in the SBC. So you may see that. So make sure you guys craft a couple of those or wait till the SBC comes out if you're interested, and then maybe craft it if team of the weeks go up. You could stock team of the week discard informs in your club. Your better shout here, because Messi's squads are going to be so high rated, is maybe stocking some 83 to 86 rated informs. They've got to be super undervalued. There's nothing that's been requiring them yet. And that's pretty much a no risk. Any of the team of the weeks from 1 to 4 that are, you know, 82 to 86 informs, you might see some rise on some of the higher rated informs if there is a lot of inform requirements. There's going to have to be like 8 to 10 squads on this Messi player of the month, and you're going to have to need at least, probably in my books, you're going to probably need 5 team of the weeks plus for any of those to really go up. And it also depends if EA, you know, allow you to use foot champs players. Now, today we got a tradable 15K pack, guys, and that has hurt the market. The market is actually down today a little bit. It was very high because Number one, you have to use an 85 or higher player in those team of the week packs. Number two, you have people doing the base icon. So you have some fodder going down just a little bit today. Thiago Silva down to 14K, was like 16 yesterday, was probably almost 17 this morning. So he's down a little bit. I think fodder is going to continue to drop. I don't think fodder is going to be heavily invested for this player of the month. And I think 85s are still at a price where I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm also not much of like a fodder investor, guys. I don't really make a lot of coins on fodder. It's not something I've ever done a lot. But, you know, for some of the higher rated squads, it's probably worth a shout. If you're really not trying to make coins here, but if you're interested in doing Messi's player of the month, because I look at the price of like 89s and even 88s, and they're actually very undervalued. They're not that inflated. It's probably worth stocking your club with some of these, right? Diaz got up to like 28 with the icon, 27-ish. He's down to 24. You know, if you could snipe him like 22 and just put in your club, because you may have a scenario where, you know, this does come out really undervalued. And if it does, fodder is going to go up a lot. Anything probably like, you know, 87, 88 is going to go up a lot. I would say that because right now, think about it. 86 Thiago Silva is like 15K. So that's very close to the 24K price of an 88. So obviously some of the higher rated golds are very undervalued. I'm probably not going to invest at all, but you have probably the whole night and tomorrow to, you know, pick up a couple if you're interested in completing the player of the month. And so, yeah, that's really all from an investment perspective you could do. I don't really know if there's a ton of link investments you could make. You could argue maybe some League One heroes would be good pickups. All I know is you've got a couple scenarios. You've got the one scenario where it comes out way too expensive. No one really cares, and then the market goes up a decent chunk. That's probably the really unlikely scenario. The more likely scenario is that it comes out at like an average price. Nothing crazy happens. You've also got the scenario where it comes out way too low. And just be prepared, because if that happens, we'll probably see a big market crash. I'll be honest, right? We'll probably see a lot of people go to their teams, sell players like Gold Haaland. Maybe it's Gold Vinny. This is mainly a first owner team. But that's a scenario that could also happen. And you know what? I think there's some value to be buying in if that does happen tomorrow, because we're going to be heading into a Rule Breakers Team 2. You've got Friday around the corner, and I think that makes for some huge investment opportunities. I've already been talking a little bit today on my stream about how much I really do like some of the Rule Breakers cards. And they're all down a little bit today because we got some tradable supply. We're heading into Rivals Rewards tomorrow, where they should actually go up, because people usually buy the promo cards around rewards time. This week, I think if you see any drop tomorrow because of a player of the month or anything with any of these cards, I'm a huge fan of Calvin Phillips. I think Zaha, PK, Jesus Navas, and Dzeko will do well. So if you want some picks from me, those are some players that I think you might actually see rising quite nicely on the market. And so, yeah, guys, bring on Messi's Player of the Month SBC. Look, if it's cheap and it's affordable, I will try my best to get it done for content for you guys. I would love to pick up a Messi in my club. I guess the only unfortunate part is he's not playing at Barcelona anymore. It'd be really nice if he was, because my whole team is La Liga, but we'll figure out a way. And thanks for watching another video of mine, guys. Really appreciate all you guys supporting the channel, and I'll see you guys in a video soon. Peace.